Understanding casual itemization is the easiest way to break through a rank you're hard stuck in. Having resources being limited is a fundamental aspect of balance in Dota 2. Consumable items being capped by either initial supply and restock timers or time when they first become available is just one example. The second example being the amount of active items you can benefit from at a single time. For most heroes, this limit is hard capped at 6 main item slots, the neutral item slot, and the dedicated teleportation scroll slot. In an alternate reality where you had infinite active item slots, the meta would be to only ever buy cheap items like Faerie Fires and Iron Branches amongst others, since they are nearly always the best return for gold spent. When you look for it, you see frequent small mechanics implemented to stop certain items stacking with duplicates for this exact reason. As a result, one of the biggest oversights you can make as a player is not utilizing every item slot available to you. Sit back, relax, and enjoy as I walk you through all of the cheap casual items you can take advantage of and explain how some of the best players to ever touch the game perfectly utilize casual items to skyrocket their impact in-game and solve their heroes' fundamental problems. First thing we need to cover, casual items are overpowered because your intent is to sell them back once the slot pressure has to be answered. This effectively means that for the entire time they're in your inventory, they're only costing you half their actual value, since you will get half of their value back when you sell them, assuming they can't be consumed for more impact. Keep that in mind as we move forward. While some items may seem underwhelming for their initial cost, in reality when you intend to sell them back again, their actual cost to you is halved. Let's start with the humble Faerie Fire. Now once again, the second highest return on investment for damage against heroes for all attribute groups, and only beaten by Divine Rapier, which is over twice as efficient. In addition, you can activate the item to consume it and give yourself a burst heal of 85 HP. While not the most efficient health trade, many times a well-timed cast of Imbue can be just enough to ensure you survive an engagement you otherwise weren't meant to, or can shift an enemy's death to come before yours so they lose out on the XP from your unavoidable death. Even if component items for larger items like Boots of Speed and Blades of Attack or Gloves of Haste provide more benefit than Faerie Fire does, it's wise to backpack Faerie Fire in the meantime and place it back again once you have completed Phase Boots or Power Treads and a slot opens up once more. If a good opportunity to activate Imbue occurs, then activate it for the value. Otherwise, just sell it back for half price when the next major component item comes online. In a similar vein, Iron Branches are the third most cost-efficient damage item that nowhere near enough players strive to maximize potential with. The ability Plant Tree allows you to at any moment restrict a vision line to prevent attacks or spells targeting you, cut off a juke path an enemy is attempting to escape through, block off a path you are retreating through, set up for numerous hero abilities that interact with trees, break Disruptor's heart, skills and ankles, or even squeeze a bit more efficiency out of your last tango charge. When in doubt, rely on Iron Branch. It's one of the most versatile items in the game. Movement speed is one of the most important aspects in Dota 2. If you move faster than the enemy, you control the terms of engagement outside of hard lockdown. Moving faster around the map allows you to connect to allies, push waves, and farm neutral camps faster. If you have an empty slot, intend to build Yasha, and your goal for that period of the game is to increase your GPM, Windlace is nearly always the correct answer. Windlace is amplified by the 10 to 12% move speed increases that Yasha and its upgrades give. If you get Blink Dagger, Yasha, and Windlace along with your boots of choice, you're nearly always the most mobile hero on the map. For heroes who have mana issues, there are several ways to amend the issue. Strength heroes who buy Power Treads can get Soul Ring and through tread switching offset a lot of their mana needs through their health pool and leverage their higher HP regeneration. When playing into enemies who spam a lot of spells, both Magic Wand and Infused Raindrops provide a collective 0.95 mana regeneration as well as protection from some of that burst damage on top of burst heal for turnaround plays. However, the unassuming Sage's Mask is a beautiful cheap bit of utility to immediately start addressing many problems outside of the 0.7 mana regeneration it provides. Need to deal more damage while being more survivable? Falcon Blade is in the upgrade path. Need to help out the team? Through upgrading to Ring of Basilius, you can either go Vladmir's Offering or pivot into Arcane Boots and later Guardian Greaves if you want. Need to force the enemy to buy Dispels? Through upgrading to Oblivion Staff, you get access to Orchid Malevolence and Bloodthorn alongside Witchblade, which numerous intelligence-based casters want regardless. Need to play into both healing your allies and harming the enemy? Sage's Mask naturally steps into both Urn of Shadows and Spirit Vessel, the latter of which is a massive annoyance to any heroes who want to abuse all the forms of health restoration that exist. Even if you don't pursue any of these upgrades and just sit on the Sage's Mask, that item alone is giving you 42 mana every minute just by sitting in an active slot. 33 has started games on Lycan throughout 2025 with a Sage's Mask and then bought an additional one after building him with a Dominator as a 3.5 mana regeneration value he hits by level 7 then means he generates 210 mana a minute, allowing him to summon level 4 wolves once a minute and cast Howl twice a minute without losing any mana at all. Shapeshift gives him hasted move speed which allows allows him to skip a slot for boots, along with an immunity to slows, meaning the only way he can be controlled is by stuns and roots, which BKB allows him to avoid, making his Lycan the ultimate teamfight threat whilst allowing him to skip items other heroes can't. If you're finding this video helpful and haven't already, please consider taking a moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel. The small gesture that costs you nothing and helps the channel immensely. Recently, we crossed the 12,000 subscriber mark, which is touching since essentially there were no uploads during 2025. I'm working towards ensuring 2026 starts out strong and remains that way, so your support does help. Let's get back to it. There's a video specifically on armor in the works, but if you need to shrug off excessive physical damage early on, then casual rings of protection do wonders. Firstly, a single ring of protection for 175 gold hard counters the debuff of a 300 gold Orb of Blight. They also stack with themselves fully, though stacking bucklers doesn't bring you any additional benefits until you build your pre-existing one into Assault Cuirass or Vladimir's Offering. A buckler does extend this Orb of Blight counter to allies within 1200 units of you, however. Ring of Protection also builds into Urn of Shadows as well as Soul Ring, which we've already mentioned. Finally, it builds into Pavis and Solar Crest, which are invaluable tools for supporting heroes as well as some core heroes to abuse against high physical damage drafts or with high physical damage allies. If your issue isn't dealing with burst damage but instead dealing with constant chip damage, whether that be from heroes or creeps as you farm, a casual Ring of Regen that then gets upgraded to Headdress can be an elegant but niche solution to a rarer problem. Back when Nightfall was playing PL under his old IGN, he used to start with 2 rings of regen specifically to solve this problem. Since Headdress also gives HP regen to allies in an aura, your lane mate will benefit from the additional 2 HP regen, which gives them 120 extra HP in lane every minute, while you get an additional 150 every minute. The same as if you were to activate a 10 charge stick or wand every minute. This subtle boost in your collective health pool enables you and your lane mate to trade a little more than you otherwise would. Even if you aren't planning to itemize towards Pipe of Insight or go down the Mechanism and Guardian Greaves route, carry players who recognize they have a sustain issue in lane and need to make it through to the point they can abandon lane and farm can find success with this slight boost. If the support wants to go down these itemization routes instead, it's still just as viable for them to grab a quick Headdress. The carry just sees less value once they're out of lane. If your issue is just that you are too squishy, there is an overwhelming amount of mixed damage coming out, and you just need raw survivability until the point you can invest in resistances, Fluffy Hat is where you should be looking initially. It builds into both Falcon Blade and Pavis, which we've already discussed, and also builds into Force Staff and Hurricane Pike, which if you're a squishy hero struggling with overwhelming damage, nearly always means you're a ranged hero who would benefit from either Force Staff to help the team, or Hurricane Pike so you can extend your attack range and prevent heroes getting on top of you. If you run into this issue as a support, 2 Fluffy Hats to build into Force Staff and Pavis should set you straight. If facing this as a core hero, Falcon Blade and Hurricane Pike are likely 2 strong considerations for you. I have personally never struck a situation where I bought a casual Fluffy Hat to survive early lane burst and never upgraded it. However, there is a rank 200 Russian Necro spammer who grabs 2 casual Fluffy Hats early on to survive until Brown Boots and Radiance, so there's an exception to every rule. Turns out having nearly 1000 HP at level 3 is pretty strong. Lastly, if you aren't building Yasha, have a slot to spare, and still want to increase your farming speed, a casual Gloves of Haste is a great consideration if you're primarily farming through auto attacks instead of spells. It has plenty of viable upgrades already through Power Treads, Hand of Midas, Armlet, Maelstrom and Mage Slayer, but gaining 20 attack speed for effectively 225 gold once you sell it back is insane value. Try it for yourself if farming towards a Radiance for instance. As we'll cover in a future video, the best way to increase overall damage per second is to increase your damage and attack speed together. The second best way to increase your overall DPS, however, is to solely boost your attack speed. Through increasing your attack speed, you decrease your attack interval and a hitting creeps faster than you otherwise would, as a result raising your GPM and catapulting you towards further items. If you'd like to learn more about attack speed specifically, Adrian has done a great video on it over on his channel. With all this knowledge processed and harnessed, you can then iterate on it further with your core build. If you know that movement speed is the key to your success in a game since your core spell utility covers your other bases after casual itemization fixes your unavoidable issues, you can consider going for a quick Boots of Travel. If you need mana or health regeneration, and know your core build involves something like Lincoln Sphere, Lotus Orb, Phylactery, Orchid Malevolence, Battle Fury or Mage Slayer, then you can consider either a quick Perseverance or Cornucopia, and let a Sage's Mask, Ring of Regen or Headdress get you to stability. If you just need to farm faster and your build is already headed towards Yasha, Diffuser, or Dragonlance or Aghanim Scepter, then getting the Blade of Alacrity first is going to accelerate the timing of those items coming into play. Understanding what stats to buy when will pay dividends. I hope this video has helped you understand the power of casual itemization and the benefits of certain itemizations in general. As always, if there's anything you have questions about, feel free to drop them in the comments below. If you haven't already, make sure to like the video and subscribe as well. Good luck and happy gaming.